welcome to Tino's Time Wrestling. And on this episode, I'm going to give you a post-show analysis of everything that went down on the two amazing nights that was WrestleMania. And let's not waste any time, and let's start off with the opening with Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon came out to the top of the arena of Raymond James Stadium with all of the WWE superstars, and he welcomed the fans back for the first time in over a year. He said that all these amazing superstars have performed for us, and it was just so great, and they were all so happy to have us back. And he said his amazing catchphrase that he always says. He said, "Welcome to WrestleMania," like Vince Kennedy McMahon always likes to do. And then they had the amazing opening like they always do. I always love the opening to WrestleMania. It's always something I look forward to. I just love those types of videos and those video packages. They always just make me look forward and they get me hyped up. As we were getting ready to begin WrestleMania, for the first time ever, WWE announced that they were having to delay WrestleMania because of the horrible weather that was in Tampa Bay. The rain was coming down horrible. The lightning was coming out of nowhere. It looked like WrestleMania might be canceled. I was worried Mother Nature was trying to take away WrestleMania from the WWE universe. We finally have fans back, and Mother Nature doesn't want to incorporate, and she doesn't want to agree with us. But finally, after about 45 minutes, the rain cleared, the lightning went away, and it was finally time to begin night one of WrestleMania. And we started it off with the first match of the night. It was for the WWE title. It was Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, versus Drew McIntyre. And what a match this was. I am going to give this match a 4 out of 5. These two big men went to war for 20 minutes in the first WWE match with fans in over a year. The ring physicality of this match was just phenomenal. When he hit the 3 future shock 3 DDTs, I really thought Lashley was going to be done that early in the match, but MVP dragged Lashley out from under the ropes, and when that happened, Drew went to the sky like the Undertaker used to do for all those years when Undertaker took out the cameraman and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. Drew McIntyre took out both guys, MVP and Lashley. MVP tried to distract Drew throughout the whole entire match. MVP was doing his thing. He was trying to help Lashley. It was just a phenomenal match, and the crowd was on fire, and it was so awesome, and it was just such a relief to have the WWE Universe back. But in the end, the Almighty got the Hurt Lock back on Drew McIntyre, and he was able to choke Drew out, and he won the match by submission. And still, your WWE Champion, the Almighty Bobby Lashley. Like I said, what a match this was, and it was a phenomenal way to start WrestleMania. The next match on the card after the Almighty won the WWE title, it was time for the Women's Tag Team Turmoil, and I am only going to give this match a 1.5 out of 5, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the only positive of this match was the Riot Squad. I really did not know how this match was going to work, but the way it did was like a gauntlet match. 2 teams started, and then as a team was eliminated, a new one would come out. So the 2 teams that started the Women's Turmoil was Lana and Naomi versus the new team of Carmella and Billie Kay. And, you know, it didn't last too long until Carmella and Billie Kay eliminated Lana and Naomi by stealing it. Billie Kay got the help of Carmella. She pushed her legs into Billie Kay and gave her some leverage. After Lana and Naomi were eliminated, here comes my girls, Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, the Riot Squad. I talked about it in my pre-show. They were really the only tag team that have been like a tag team for so long, and I feel like they were the ones that really need to win this match. While that match was going on, though, Carmella and Billie Kay got caught trying to steal the victory, but it did not work, and the Riot Squad ended up eliminating Carmella and Billie Kay by double team, and Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott just impressed me during this match. The next team to enter was Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. While they were coming out to the ring, poor Mandy Rose fell and she slipped. They blamed it on the rain because of the horrible weather that was in Tampa Bay, but now that is going to be on Peacock for a very long time. I'm sorry, Mandy Rose, you looked good doing it, but next time maybe you need to fix your boots or whatever. Anyway, they got into the ring and the Riot Squad and Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose battled, but in the end of that match, Liv Morgan picked up the win and she moved on, and they eliminated 2 teams at this point now. Riot Squad was on fire. I was ready for the Riot Squad to win, but they had to get through one more team, and it was the team of Natalya and Tamina. And this is another team that was put together a little bit, they've been together for a little bit period of time, but again, the only team that I felt like should win this and deserves it the most, and they were so impressive, was the Riot Squad. They even hit the double team again, which they eliminated Carmella and Billie Kay with, but Tamina kicked out of it, and it just did not work. I just really thought that they were going to have it, but in the end of the match, Tamina hit the Superfly Smash, she hit Ruby Riott, and they picked up the victory for the 1, 2, 3 to move on to night 2 to face the women's champions of Shayna Baszler and Nia Jackson. I was just very disappointed that the Riot Squad did not win, because I just thought that they deserved it, and they deserve to have that WrestleMania moment. They've been here for a little bit of time now, and they still haven't had that moment, and I really thought that they could have elevated the women's tag titles, but Natalya and Tamina picked up the victory, so I wasn't going to judge. This match was not very good. Like I said, I'm only giving it a 1.5. It just was not a very good match, and it felt very rushed. They could have given it a little bit more time, and they had the wrong people win. So congratulations to Natalya and Tamina, but I was just very disappointed that the Riot Squad did not win. But now, after the Riot Squad did not win, I was getting ready for one match that I was looking forward to the most. It was Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. This is a match I talked about that could easily steal the show, and it did. It was a good match. I am giving this match a 4 out of 5. Cesaro tried to swing Seth right away, but Seth got out of it. But Cesaro, later on in the match, hit Seth with 9 swings. He hit him with 9 swings, but his leg gave out, and he just was not able to get as much as he just was not able to get as many as he wanted to. When Seth hit the corkscrew splash, but he kicked out, Cesaro just was not giving up. Cesaro wanted him. He wanted to have his WrestleMania moment. They beat the living hell out of each other. Cesaro even turned the curb stomp into the UFO. That was phenomenal. Cesaro, you are just my God, you are the best. In the end, though, 23 swings. He hit him with the neutralizer. My God. And then he picked him up and he won the match with the 1, 2, 3, and Cesaro finally had his WrestleMania moment that everybody wanted, and Cesaro finally got the one-on-one victory after all these years of not having a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. He beat Mr. WrestleMania this generation, Seth Rollins. He picked up the win, and I am so happy Cesaro got his WrestleMania moment. It was a phenomenal match. I don't know how Seth Rollins survived over 30 swings. I would have been dizzy. I don't even know how he's walking today, but that match was phenomenal, and it lived up to the hype. It didn't get too long a time, but that time felt like it went on for a very long time, and it was non-stop action, and I was so impressed with that match. That match was just awesome. But after we had a great match, then they went into the tag team match. It was the New Day versus Omos and AJ Styles for the Raw tag team titles, and we talked about it on my pre-show. This was Omos's debut, and I really thought that they were going to have AJ win because they wanted AJ just to become a Grand Slam champion. But before we get to that, Omos debuted, and I thought he was going to wrestle in a suit. I really did. But he took off the suit, and he actually wrestled in pants and a tank top, it looked like. This man is 7'3", 400 pounds. Oh my God, I didn't realize that he was that big. Omos whooped the New Day's ass. ass. He did everything he could. Omos scared the hell out of Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. And Kofi Kingston went back 2 years to Kofi Mania. He thought he was at WrestleMania 35 facing Daniel Bryan for the WWE champion. But AJ Styles was able to hit the phenomenal forearm off of Omos' shoulders. Omos power slammed Kofi Kingston and he stepped on him for the 1, 2, 3. And like I said, I knew this was going to happen. Your new Raw Tag Team Champions, Omos and AJ Styles. And congratulations, AJ Styles. You are now officially a WWE Grand Slam champion. You have held every championship in the WWE. Congratulations. I just did not really enjoy this match. It was what we expected. It was what we thought it was going to be. So I'm only going to give this match a 2 out of 5. And the only reason why I'm giving it a 2 is because I'm happy AJ Styles is a Grand Slam champion. Other than that, it was Omos beating up the New Day, and that just, that's not like what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a good wrestling match. But that's okay, because you know what? It was whatever it was, and congratulations, AJ Styles, on being a Grand Slam champion. After AJ Styles and Omos had a big celebration, it was time for the steel cage match between Braun and here comes the money, Shane McMahon. And what a steel cage this match it was. It was a really, really good steel cage match. I'm going to give this steel cage match a 4 out of 5 though. The King, Jerry Lawler, was on commentary. That was awesome. Jerry Lawler, I love having the King back. It was just phenomenal to have the King back. But in this match, the Goons got involved right away and they attacked Strowman. They attacked Strowman before the man could even get into the ring. They tried getting him. They beat the hell out of him with a chair, but it was not able to happen. He finally was able to get into the ring and he was able to beat Shane with a chair for a little bit, but Shane hit the coast to coast a little bit later on in the match, and the Goons came back after Braun Strowman tried to get rid of Elias and Jackson Ryder, but they came back and they were just trying to do the thing. They were trying to help Shane, but later on in the match, Shane used the toolbox and almost got out, but he was not able to. Braun dragged him back up to the top and he was able to get him over. But then later on in the match, Shane also had another opportunity to do it, but this time Braun Strowman grabbed the steel cage. He ripped off part of the steel cage and he said, "Shane, get your ass back in the ring." He said, screw it. He went to the top. Braun Strowman threw Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon looked like he did a front flip off of it. I don't know what Shane McMahon wants to do. Is this man ever going to retire, or does he just want to hurt his body until he's 60? I mean, thank you, Shane McMahon, for your entertainment, but how do you survive this at this age? It was a phenomenal spot, and congratulations, Shane, for surviving that, because I don't know how you did. After Braun threw Shane off the cage, he did the running power slam and he picked up the win for the 1, 2, 3. And Braun did it. He stopped it. He beat the bully. He beat Shane McMahon. He picked up the win, and he did it for all of us that have been bullied. Thank you, Braun Strowman, for beating up the bully, and thank you for being that guy. I'm going to give this match a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it for a steel cage match. It wasn't the best. It wasn't like the greatest steel cage, but it was still entertaining. And for a WrestleMania match and a WrestleMania moment to have Shane McMahon go off of that, I really enjoyed it. There are going to be people that really didn't enjoy this match too much, but I really did. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. And you people could come at me, but I don't care. Your boy Tino's just going to come at you with facts. So try to come at me. Before we get into the last 2 matches that happened on night 1 of WrestleMania, I just wanted to take a minute and say a quick congratulations to the Hall of Fame class of 2020, JBL, the Bella Twins, NWO, Titus O'Neil for winning the Warrior Award. Congratulations to all of the superstars that went into the Hall of Fame class of 2020. And also, they announced that WrestleMania 22 will be in Jerry's World in Dallas, Texas. Oh, hell Yeah, maybe we'll see Stone Cold. That would be a WrestleMania moment. But let's go back to the matches that happened on night one. And the next match that happened on the card, it was the tag team match of Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus Hey Hey Ho Ho and Hey Hey Hop Hop, The Miz and Morrison. And what the hell is this bunny shit that happened? There were bunnies everywhere. It looked like Adam Rose had babies and all of the bunnies were coming out. I didn't know what was going on. Okay, I don't know if I was like dreaming. I didn't know if these bunnies were real. I just did not understand it and it did not make any sense to me. But when Damian Priest came out, he came out in this dope gear. I just really liked it and I really thought it was cool. But something that was really cool was Bad Bunny's entrance. They went all out for Bad Bunny's entrance. This man came out in a truck and he looked like he was the man. He was having himself a WrestleMania moment. And we've talked about Bad Bunny a lot. He has been a WWE fan and he is just like all of us WWE Universe. He is literally living out our dream. And he also got to start off the match with The Miz. He put 2 jabs to Miz's face right away. It was awesome. Bunny was controlled. He was doing his thing. But then Miz got control and as usual, he tried to kill him. They did their thing. Him and Morrison tag team. They tried to do everything they could. Even during the match, because Booker T was on commentary, they made fun of him and John Morrison did the spin-a-rooney. Morrison, that was disrespectful. What are you doing? But, you know, Damian Priest hit the double hysteria suplex and I thought that was going to be enough. I really did. Priest even flew through the ropes and Bad Bunny flew onto the Miz and Morrison like he did at the Royal Rumble. Bad Bunny impressed me through this whole entire match. This honestly, in my opinion, was the best celebrity match that we have ever seen at a WrestleMania. They just did everything. Bad Bunny impressed me so much. Like I said, he just did so many and all types of crazy things. He did a move to Morrison that nobody knew. You should have seen the Miz's face, Damian Priest's face when Bad Bunny did that amazing move to Morrison. We all were like, oh my god, nobody knew that Bad Bunny had him in it. And in the end, the Miz was on top of Damian Priest's arms and Bad Bunny did the crossbody and he picked up the win for the 1, 2, 3, and Bad Bunny had his WrestleMania moment. And like I just talked about, he was so impressive during this match. It was phenomenal. That's why I'm giving this match a 5 out of 5 because I really enjoyed it. And for the celebrity match, I thought it was really good. And nobody thought that Bad Bunny was going to be this good in the ring, and he impressed all of us. So hell yeah, Bad Bunny. Even Randy Orton on night 2 of the bump, before he had his match with Bray Wyatt, gave praise to Bad Bunny. He said that Bad Bunny has impressed Randy Orton and that he came into the ring and he has spent about 4 to 5 hours a day. He has been training with Brian Kendrick, Drew Gulak to get ready for this match, and it shows that guys like this come into the WWE and they come into the WWE world and they take it seriously. And when you get praise from the Legend Killer, a Hall of Famer, that is one of those moments that Bad Bunny should cherish, and that's something that he is never going to forget. This match was just so much fun and it was just phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what Bad Bunny has in store with the future for his music and for the WWE. And hopefully we do see him get in the ring again one day. It looks like he will be going on tour. They did a thing on WrestleMania night 2 where it seemed Triple H sent him off, but Bad Bunny, I know you will be back and I can't wait to see what you hold and what the future holds for you, my guy. But now it's time to talk about the match we have all been waiting for, the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania. It was for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It was Sasha Banks, the legit boss, versus the EST at WWE, the 2021 Royal Rumble winner, Bianca Belair. And what a match this was. It was awesome. It started off with so much emotion that Bianca Belair literally had to hold her tears in to the point where we could see it that she was going to cry, but she did not cry. She held her emotions in, and the match started. And this match was really, really good. It started off with Banks trying to use the ponytail. She kept trying to use Belair's ponytail to whip it with her, but it did not work, and Belair ended up taking advantage of it once it did, and her power is unreal. She had 2 power bombs on Banks, and Banks just literally could not do anything. Later on, once Banks did get a little bit of offense, she was like, "What time is it, Michael Cole?" And Michael Cole was like, "It's boss time." Belair ended up hitting a 450 splash onto Banks a little bit later on, but it was not enough for Belair to pick up the win, and the boss kicked out. These 2 women put on a Hall of Fame caliber dream match, and they proved why they needed to be the main event of WrestleMania. They were told they could never do it, but tonight not only did they prove them wrong, but they put on one of the greatest women's wrestling matches that have ever taken place in the US, filled with unique reversals, phenomenal in-ring physicality, and emotions. But in the end of the match, Bianca Belair whipped Sasha Banks with her ponytail. You could literally hear it. I was like, ouch. I had to feel my side to make sure my side was okay. Bianca Belair hit the KOD on the boss, and she pinned her for the 1, 2, 3, and Michael Cole ends up botching and says that Bianca Belair did not get the 3 count and Banks kicked out, but Corey Graves saved them and said, no, Bianca Belair won and she's the new SmackDown Women's Champion, which was true. That ended up being a botch by Michael Cole. There was also another botch in the women's tag team Turmoil where there was a couple nip slips by Carmella and Dana Brooke. Thanks, girls, for trying to give us a little bit of porn on Peacock. I'm not hating about it, but I cannot believe that Bianca Belair is your new SmackDown Women's Champion. Congratulations, Bianca Belair. You deserve it. You had a phenomenal WrestleMania moment. It's just, you deserve it. And after WrestleMania went off air, her husband, Montez Ford of the Street Profits, came out and held her up, and they just had a phenomenal WrestleMania moment, and she deserves it. She's been through so much, and it was just phenomenal to see. I'm so happy that she won, and I cannot wait to see who she faces and what happens this upcoming SmackDown, as your new SmackDown Women's Champion is the EST WWE Bianca Belair. But after that amazing match, and after so much emotion, and after everybody was drained, we all had to go to bed. We woke up and it was WrestleMania Sunday. We had to do it all over again, baby. There was 7 matches and I was so excited. As announced on the bump earlier on night 2, it said that Randy Orton versus The Fiend will open the show. So I was really excited and I was looking forward to that. But once WrestleMania got kicked off for night 2, why did Titus and Hulk Hogan dress up as pirates and come out and welcome everybody to WrestleMania? I would have way rather have seen Vince McMahon do the same thing that he did on night 1. There was just no point to it, and I was kind of confused. It made no sense to me. But after Hulk Hogan and Titus got out of the ring, it was time for the match between Randy Orton and The Fiend, and I just said it. I was really looking forward to this match. I was so hyped for this match, but I am only going to give this match a 2 out of 5, and let me tell you why. Because the best thing about this match was The Fiend's entrance. He came out and it was weird. He came out in a tunnel and he kind of seemed like he had the old Fiend mask, and then Alexa Bliss came out to the ring and she did her weird skips and she did whatever the hell she does with her weird makeup, and then all of a sudden there's a Jack in the Box and Alexa starts spinning it and she starts doing her thing and whatever she starts doing, and all of a sudden some weird thing comes up and it's The Fiend, and he pops out and he's recreated as The Fiend from back at TLC before he got buried alive and before he got lit on fire. And it was just like, it was weird. I really did not understand it, but it was a really cool entrance. It was Joker vibes, and it was really, really cool. But after the entrance, the red lighting came back. If anybody remembers this red lighting, why in the hell did this red lighting come back? Nobody likes this red lighting. Nobody wants wants to see it. Nobody likes it. And Vince McMahon just, why? And it was just, there was no reason for it. It was just, it just made no sense to me. He jumped off of the Jack in the Box, Bray Wyatt, the Fiend did, and he ended up attacking Randy Orton. It was just a regular singles match. It was really weird. And to be honest, I was listening to a YouTuber last night, and he was just saying this was one of the worst ways to start off WrestleMania, and I completely agree with him. It was just weird. After they wrestled for a little bit, Alexa Bliss all of a sudden turned around, and the lights like flickered a little, and Alexa was all of a sudden on the Jack in a Box. She ended up bleeding with this goo or whatever it was, and it was like black blood. I was really confused. Like I said, this just whole match was really confused. It ended up distracting Wyatt, and it was just really weird, to the point where Randy Orton hit the RKO and he picked up the win. And Alexa Bliss, did she turn on him? What is she doing? It helped Randy Orton get the win. Alexa Bliss helped Randy Orton get the win. And after Randy picked up the win, he got the hell out of there. He's like, I'm done with the Fiend. I got my WrestleMania victory. I got my WrestleMania moment. And at this point, I was just even more confused because I just did not understand why they didn't add a stipulation. A minute later after the match, all of a sudden Alexa Bliss is sitting there and the blood is still coming, and the Fiend looks at her, and I don't know what is going on, but did Alexa turn heel? I don't know what happened, but the lights went out and they both literally disappeared. They spent more time on the entrances than they did in this match. That YouTuber I listened to, it was completely right. It was just I didn't understand it. There was no reason to it, and it was honestly one of the worst ways to start off WrestleMania. There was no reason for it. You brought back the red lighting. Honestly, once that happened, I kind of just was disappointed in the match already, and there was no reason for it. And you started WrestleMania off like that. It was just weird, and everybody was confused. And then the next match on the card was definitely better than Saturday's match. It would be Saturday, Sunday, yesterday's match. It was the women's tag team match. The women's Turmoil, we talked about it from night one. It wasn't very good, and it just was not what I thought, and I was disappointed with who won. The Riot Squad should have won that match. But this tag team title match was definitely better. It was totally back and forth. Tamina and Natalya definitely showed up, and Tamina was very impressive. She even got over in the WWE universe, was chanting, Tamina, 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 you need to win. Tamina missed the splash. She just did not get it, it was not enough to stop Shayna Baszler. In the end, Natalya had the sharpshooter. She had it on Nia Jax. Shayna Baszler came up behind Natalya. She choked her out. Natalya died, and Natalya just was limpless, and she was gone. And Shayna Baszler picked up the dub, and she choked Natalya out to keep the women's tag titles, and still your women's tag champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And again, this match was definitely better. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 because it definitely was better than the tag team Turmoil. I'll give it to them. But the wrong people won on Saturday and the wrong people won today, Sunday. I don't understand. There was no reason for Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax to win. Tamina got over on Saturday, and then she got over even more on Sunday, and that was a great opportunity for Natalya and Tamina to win and get ourselves a new tag team champions, because if the Riot Squad didn't win, whoever was to win the tag team Turmoil, I was just hoping they were going to win, because I've said it multiple times and I've talked about it. I just want new tag team women's champions. I'm just tired of seeing Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax as tag team champions, and Shayna Baszler definitely deserves better. So hopefully there will be a tag team that will dethrone Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, but I don't know who's going to be it, because I thought it would be at WrestleMania, but they just continue to keep their titles, and I don't know what is going on. But speaking of tag teams or best friends or whatever the heck you want to go on, the next match on the card was Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, with Logan Paul at ringside. That was very interesting. Logan Paul has over 20 million YouTube subscribers, and that's just awesome. But before this match started, I wanted to take a second and talk about a backstage segment with Eric Bischoff, Titus, and Hogan after Orton and The Fiend. That was just really entertaining, and I love Eric Bischoff. And, Titus and Hogan, they didn't do a horrible job, but, I really don't understand, what exactly they did. but I really was happy to see Eric Bischoff live in person at WrestleMania. Now back to the Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. JBL came on commentary, the Hall of Famer. Thank you, JBL. I'm gonna miss you. You were a badass, and I'm just so happy you're in the Hall of Fame where you deserve. There was also a woman's referee. I don't know if this is the first time ever at a WrestleMania there was a woman's referee, but I think it was, because last year there were no fans. So I think this is the first year that there was a woman's referee, and if that is the case, that is awesome. The crowd during the match chanted, "Logan sucks, Logan sucks, Logan sucks," and that was funny because I don't think Logan sucks, but I just really didn't understand why they were bringing him into this rivalry. Owens hit the frog splash. He suplexed Sami Zayn off the top rope, and it seemed like Logan Paul seemed to act like it hurt him when Logan Paul was just chilling on the sidelines with his glasses, and he was just loving life, and it seemed like it was just one of those things. But in the end of the match, and it was a really, really good match, in the end, Sami Zayn got stunned by Kevin Owens like Stone Cold used to do back in the day. Oh, hell yeah. Kevin Owens picked up the win, and he pinned Sami Zayn for the 1, 2, 3. And this match was really good for it being what it was, and it was, they should have added a stipulation, and I would have wished they did, because I really wanted to see Kevin Owens jump off the ship. Everybody wanted to see him do it, but it was a really good wrestling match for what it was. And Logan Paul actually, he was kind of entertaining. I'm going to give this match a 3 out of 5, and the only reason why I'm not going to give it a little bit higher was because there wasn't a stipulation. But after the match and after everything happened, Sami and Logan Paul got into it, and Logan Paul pushed Sami Zayn, and he was like, "I'm done with you, Sami. I don't know what you're doing, and hopefully these conspiracy theories are over, because I'm tired of these conspiracy theories by Sami Zayn." After Sami Zayn got out of the ring, Logan Paul celebrated like he was going to be Kevin Owens' best friend, but Kevin Owens is like Stone Cold, and what did Stone Cold used to do in the back in the day? He stunned everybody. So Owens stunned Logan Paul. Logan Paul, you sold it phenomenal. It was amazing, and it was a WrestleMania, oh hell yeah moment. It was awesome, and it was just funny to watch Logan Paul get stunned by Kevin Owens, and like I said, it was just a really fun, and it was a really good wrestling match. Before we go into the next match on the card, I want to talk about another backstage interview, but this one was actually pretty good. It was with Matt Riddle, the Great Khali, and Rob Van Dam, and they go on and they start talking, and Rob Van Dam gives both guys rolling papers, if you know what I mean. Rob Van Dam is trying to have himself a night, and Riddle and Khali are trying to join him for a little smoky smoke after the pay-per-view. That would have been really cool if we were able to see that on TV, but we're in the PG era, WWE, so we can't see that. Anyway, that was just really cool, and I'm just really happy that we were able to see that. But the best wrestling match that happened at this time, before the main event and stuff, this was the best wrestling match that happened on the card. It was Sheamus versus Riddle for the US title. This match was awesome. I'm gonna sound like the Miz over here, but it was awesome. Sheamus looked like he was the 2012 Sheamus when he faced Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, and he won in 18 seconds. It was just awesome to see it. Riddle comes out in a scooter that was amazing. It was just awesome. What guy comes out in a scooter at WrestleMania? That is a WrestleMania moment right there, and that was just dope. That was funny. He also did a belly to belly body top off the top rope, which was phenomenal. I know that didn't make any sense. He did a belly to belly off the top rope is what I was trying to say. It was dope. Riddle is just such a badass, and Sheamus is too. They both beat the living hell out of each other, and they just battled everywhere. Sheamus missed the white noise off of the top rope, but he ended up hitting it after he came back, and he ended up saving himself, and he was still able to hit it. It was a botch, and there was just so many botches. What was going on with everybody? The announcers, the guys, the girls, everything. I just didn't understand. But this match was a phenomenal, and it was just an amazing back and forth wrestling match. And like I said at the time, this was the best match of the night so far. But in the end, Riddle went and tried to do a backflip, it seemed, and Sheamus hit him with the broad kick as Riddle was in the air and he came off the second rope. And your new United States champion, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus, you know, I really wanted Riddle to win. I'm a huge Riddle fan, if you know, as you know, your boy Tino, bro down. I'll always be a Riddle fan. But congratulations, Sheamus, for winning another WWE title and becoming the new United States champion on the grandest stage of them all. And I'm giving this match a 4 out of 5. It's not going to get a 5 out of 5 just because, you know, it wasn't like phenomenal, but it was one of the best matches of the night. So it's going to get a 4 out of 5. But the next match on the card, it was for the SmackDown mid-card title. It was for the Intercontinental Champion. It was Big E versus Apollo Crews in a Nigerian drum fight match. Nobody knew what this match was going to be, and once it got started, it seemed like it was going to be a no disqualification hardcore match because there was all types of stuff around the ring. So I'm going to give this match a 4 out of 5, and let me tell you why. Not only was Big E's entrance dope that was performed by Wally, but they literally started the match with kendo sticks. As soon as the bell rang, they went out, they both grabbed kendo sticks, and they said, you know what, we're gonna beat the living hell out of each other, and that's exactly what they did. They went around the entire ring, and they beat the hell out of each other. Big E even used a gong at one point. I was like, oh my god, what if he would have put two against his head, and they would have been two of them, it would have been like dung, and oh my god, we wouldn't have known what the hell was going through. Big E speared Apollo through the ropes. It was awesome. He also grabbed the steel steps, but it did not work. Apollo Crews just kept coming back, and he just kept trying to do his thing. Apollo Crews even tried hitting Big E on the table, but that did not work. Big E missed, and Apollo Crews went through the table. It was just, he tried everything that he could. Big E hit the big ending, and we were ready for the match to end. We thought Big E was going to come in. We thought he was going to do his thing. But then all of a sudden, this big fella came out, and it was Daba Keto, I think that's how you say his name. I probably said it really wrong. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at pronouncing. But if you remember, he was the guy that was in Raw Underground. He was the bodyguard. He was the one that wanted to fight. And we haven't seen him in a while. And it's kind of funny because I was talking to somebody on Twitter literally at like noon before WrestleMania started. And he was like, where's this guy at? And it's kind of funny that he was able to come out and help not help Big E. He helped Apollo Crews beat Big E. He ended up choke slamming Big E and helping Apollo Crews win, and still your Intercontinental Champion. And this match, like I said, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 because it was non-stop action, and it was a fun street fight. It was awesome, and it was not what we thought. We didn't know what this match was going to be about, and I really thought it impressed. And Apollo Crews has been very impressive as the new Apollo Crews, and I can't wait to see what he does with the new bodyguard that he has. And why not we see Omos and AJ Styles versus Kato and Apollo Crews for the tag titles? Wouldn't that be a match down the road that everybody would like to see? But that match was just awesome, and I was just really happy with what happened and what we saw. But after that Nigerian drum fight match and we got that out of the way, it was time to introduce the class of the 2021 Hall of Fame. It was Rob Van Dam, Molly Holly, the Great Khali, Ozzy Osbourne, Eric Bischoff, and the Big Red Monster Kane. That was awesome. If you watched on Tuesday night, this past Tuesday at the Hall of Fame, Kane had an amazing Hall of Fame speech, and it was just awesome. I've watched Kane growing up my whole entire life. He has been the one constant. Him, The Undertaker, John Cena, and as now I'm getting older, I'm almost 25 years old, and now these guys are retiring. I'm starting to feel old, but I'm I'm just so happy that Kane is in the Hall of Fame. Rob Van Dam is in the Hall of Fame. You deserve it. Great Khali. I mean, I don't know if you deserve it too much. I'm still happy you're in there. I would have put somebody else in. You still should have been there at one point. Ozzy Osbourne in the Celebrity Edition, and Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff, welcome to the Hall of Fame, exactly where you deserve. It was awesome. After they did the Hall of Fame ceremony, it was time for the Raw Women's Championship. It was Rhea Ripley, This Is My Brutality, versus Asuka. You don't want none of Asuka. Asuka thinks she's still the girl. She's had the title since she won Money in the Bank when poor Becky Lynch had, not poor Becky Lynch because it's not poor Becky Lynch, she had to go and have a baby. Congratulations, not poor Becky Lynch. Congratulations on having your baby. I just have not really liked this Asuka run at all. But this match was awesome. Even the entrance, Rhea Ripley came out to being played, but This Is My Brutality. It was just awesome. The entrance was awesome. And when the match started, Rhea started screaming at Asuka. It was awesome. And she just hit her, and Asuka hit her, and it was just so back and forth, and they beat each other off. They beat the hell out of each other for a while. Even Rhea bounced Asuka's head off the apron. It hurt. It looked like it hurt so bad. Asuka even hit a DDT off of the apron to Rhea. I was like, oh my God, who is going to win this match? It was so good, and it was a really good, really fun match, I thought. It was really, really fun. But in the end, Rhea Ripley hit the Riptide, and she pinned Asuka for the 1, 2, 3, and your new Raw Women's Champion is This Is My Brutality, Rhea Ripley. Congratulations. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody could say she don't deserve it. Everybody could be like, I don't want this. Everybody could be like, she didn't win number one contenders or whatever. I don't care. She deserves it because now she is at the top of the Raw Women's division. She took over NXT. She put it on her back, and now it's time for her to take that Raw Women's division and put it on her back. I'm going to give this match a 3 out of 5. No, you know what? I'm going to change that. I'm going to give this match a 4 out of 5 because I really did enjoy it and I really liked it. You know, I go back and I rewatch the wrestling matches after because I'm lame and I really like to enjoy it, and I really like to rewatch it as a fan because as I'm writing stuff down, I kind of forget. So when I went back and rewatched it, I thought it was even better, and I'm so happy that Rhea Ripley is your women's champion. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a bold prediction for Monday Night Raw. Rhea Ripley will be standing in the ring, and we will hear Becky Lynch's music hit. She will finally return, and she will want the Raw Women's Championship back that she never lost, that she had to give to Asuka because she is going to have a baby. Now that Becky Lynch had her beautiful baby and she's had a little bit of time, it's time for you to come back to the ring and come back to the WWE Universe. We miss you, Becky, and we've even heard from Seth Rollins that it's time, and it might be time for her to come back. So Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, book it. Let's see it at the next pay-per-view. I cannot wait. The next pay-per-view was announced on May 16th. It will be a WrestleMania Backlash. I guess WrestleMania is going to be back in business for 2 more months. I don't really understand. Why can't we just keep it to Backlash, and why do we have to add WrestleMania to it? I don't really understand. But anyway, I've talked about this match for a little bit, and it was just really good, and I'm just really happy with it. Before we got to the main event, though, the last thing I want to talk about, what happened before we got to the amazing triple threat match. Bayley, Hulk Hogan, and Titus O'Neil came out. Bayley has been like the third host, which I love. She interrupted Cole to introduce the 2020 Hall of Fame on night 1. She interrupted everybody. She was doing her thing. I love Bayley. I really have enjoyed what she's done, being a heel and doing everything that she's doing. But it was funny as hell when they're all standing there talking, and all of a sudden you hear, you can look, but you can't touch. And here come the Bella Twins, and the Bella Twins come out, and they're talking, and Bayley goes on, and Bayley starts talking, and Bayley goes, Bellas, what are you doing out here? I don't know what you're looking. You're looking like Elmo out here. Ha ha ha. Because they were wearing all kinds of red glitter and stuff like that. And then Bayley goes, John Cena isn't here, Nikki. You might be in the wrong stadium. Why don't you go visit John? That was so funny. She didn't say go visit John, but she was like, John isn't here. That is so funny. This is the first WrestleMania WrestleMania since I've been alive and since I've been watching that my man John Cena was not on the card. I just cannot believe that it happened. I cannot believe we got through a WrestleMania without The Undertaker, John Cena, Triple H, Shawn Michaels on the card. It was the first time in a very, very long time that they weren't on the card, and it was just, you know, it was a funny moment. But as I'm talking about this, I'm starting to miss John Cena more, so I don't want to keep talking about this because I miss my guy John Cena, and you can't see me for life, my guy. But when Bayley said that, I almost lost my shit and I was dying. That stuff was funny. But now, after 13 matches, after 2 nights, after a WrestleMania rain delay, after some WrestleMania moments, after some botches by Michael Cole and some girls, it was finally time for the main event. It was the Rated R superstar, the ultimate opportunist, 10 years in the making, Edge versus the big dog, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, versus the Yes-O-Mania, yes, he wanted to have a WrestleMania moment again, Daniel Bryant, the triple threat match for the Universal title. And what an effing freaking match this was. Match of the year candidate. I'm giving this match a 50 out of 5, 100 out of 5. It was one of the best triple threat matches I've ever seen at WrestleMania, and let me tell you why. Going into WrestleMania, this was the one feud and this is the one match that has been built up very good and very properly. And damn it, it absolutely lived up to the hype and the expectations of itself. The crowd was more into this match than they were at any other match of night 2. It was just phenomenal. Edge literally put Jey Uso's head and he DDT'd him into his steel steps, because earlier on when Roman entered the match, Jey Uso was feeling himself and he was ready to compete. So he got involved in the match very early on, but Edge took his ass out and Edge just went nuts. He went crazy after he's DDT'd Uso onto the steps. DB, he took his face off later on. Roman missed the Superman punch. There was just so much action in this match. It was crazy. Edge missed the spears. Edge and Roman tried to do a double spear. They both missed. It was just, I didn't know what was going on. They literally beat the living hell out of each other. It was phenomenal. DB had multiple times where he had the yes lock. He had the yes lock on Roman Reigns. We thought he was going to tap him out, but Edge said, hell no, that's not how this is happening this time. Reigns powered bombed Daniel Bryan into the announce table once Roman Reigns was able to get out of it with the help of Edge. But once DB went through the announce table, Edge speared Roman out of nowhere. It was like out of nowhere, Edge out of nowhere. If you remember back like a decade ago when Edge was wrestling, it was spear out of nowhere. Spear. Edge also put piece of the steel chair in Roman's mouth. I don't know if Roman's mouth is okay today, but they literally just beat the living hell out of each other. They both also, when that was happening, Daniel Bryan tried to submit Roman Reigns again. They were both trying to submit Reigns. They were like, let's go. But it just was not gonna happen. It was not gonna happen. Roman Reigns ended up getting out of that, and Edge hit 2 spears. And we thought he had it, but Daniel Bryan pulled the ref out of the ring and saved the match. And Edge snapped again, and he literally snapped, and he did the concerto, or he at least tried to do that. Yeah, he did do the concerto to Daniel Bryan. He did it. He did phenomenal things. It was just like, oh my God, this match had everything. I'm losing my mind talking about this. I'm mixing up my words. Everybody, this match was just phenomenal, and it was everything we wanted. It was just everything. There was concertos. Everything was battled around the ring. Everything was used. All the stipulations, all the things around the ring, everything. Only thing that didn't happen was Paul Heyman not getting involved. Imagine if Paul Heyman would have got involved. That would have been funny. But in the end of the match, after everybody beat the hell hell out of each other. Jey Uso ended up coming back a little bit later on. He ended up beating up both guys. He helped Reigns hit the concerto on Edge and Daniel Bryan. Roman Reigns hit the concerto on both guys, and then he picked up the win. He put Daniel Bryan on Edge, and Roman Reigns picked up the win for the 1, 2, 3, and still your Universal Champion, the big dog, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And what a freaking match this was. I'm sorry if I messed up some words in that while I was saying all that, but my God, this match just had an amazing things. Like I said, it just lived up to the hype, and it was everything everybody wanted to see. Yes, I would have rather seen Edge win and get that WrestleMania moment 10 years to the day that he had to retire, but still, it was a great triple threat match, and I cannot wait to see what happens on this week's SmackDown and see if Edge wants to face Roman again or what happens. It's just going to be amazing. But that is how WrestleMania Night 2 ended, with the tribal chief, the big dog, Roman Reigns as your Universal Champion, and we finished off the 2 nights, the 14 matches, and the main event, and everything at WrestleMania was over. I just could not believe how fast this week has gone. It flew by like we all knew it was, but this WrestleMania was really good, and overall for both nights, I think night 1 was definitely better. It did have a little bit more better matches and stuff like that, but night 2, that triple threat was amazing, and I'm going to give this WrestleMania a 4 out of 5. It was a really good WrestleMania, and honestly, throughout the last few years, there hasn't been a really good one. Kofi Mania was really good and stuff like that, but you know, this one was really good, and it's shown a lot of NXT stars. This is what we wanted. We had champions with Bianca Belair. Rhea Ripley won the Raw Women's Champion. Matt Riddle was the United States Champion before Sheamus won tonight. These matches just have been finally creating stars, and we love these NXT stars, and they seem like they're finally getting used. And now 2 great women are at the top of the women's division on both Raw and SmackDown in Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for all these amazing superstars, and now what happens after WrestleMania, because now that WrestleMania is over, WWE doesn't really have an off season, but after WrestleMania over, they say it's a clean slate. We'll have to see what happens, but the Raw after WrestleMania is always an exciting one. It's always a Raw that everybody looks forward to, and I cannot wait to see what happens tonight. It should be exciting. It should be phenomenal. Hopefully it lives up to the hype, and hopefully we see some returns, we see some debuts, maybe even call-ups. And if we do ever return, hopefully it's the man and the mom, Becky Lynch. But after 2 phenomenal nights that was WrestleMania, 14 amazing matches, we have to look forward to Raw. So now, after you're done listening to this, go check out Tino's Time on YouTube and Spotify, and check out my Raw preview as I let you know everything that I think is going to go down tonight on the USA Network. And there you have it. What a phenomenal show this was. We had 2 great and amazing nights at WrestleMania, 14 amazing matches, like I keep saying, some great Hall of Famers. I cannot believe how fast WrestleMania week has went. We are 7 days in. We still have Monday Night Raw tonight. We have NXT tomorrow, so that's exciting. But until tonight, when we do a Raw preview and then we do a Raw post show, this is your boy Tino signing out.